Most videos and internet sites about traveling to Israel will start with TLV airport, followed by a photo of Masada, a Jew praying next to the Western Wall, and a photo of an important church. But I want to start this video by talking about myself. My name is Oren. Oren in Hebrew is a tree, a very solid one, the best tree in the forest, and I'm an Israeli tour guide. In 2013, I got married and about 40 guests came to my wedding from Germany. This is what happens when you marry a German girl. I wanted to send the guests some links to websites with useful tips about Israel, and I couldn't find anything very good, anything that was even close to what I talk about with the groups on my tours. So I took it upon myself to start filling in this gap, first with my internet site, travelingisrael.com, and then with my YouTube channel. On both of them, you will find a lot of useful information, itineraries, hotels and hostel recommendations, and important tips that will save you money and allow you to enjoy your trip to Israel much more. Now, a quick word about the difference between the internet site and the YouTube channel. I love making videos on YouTube, and chances are that you came across my videos via YouTube rather than Facebook or my website. But YouTube has its downsides. YouTube rewards creators who make the viewers watch long videos. If I create two videos, one short, one that's super practical and useful for travelers, let's say how to use the light rail train system in Jerusalem, and one long video about what Israelis Jews think about Christians and Christianity, then the long video will be shown about 10 times more. YouTube basically tells creators to make long videos. As for my channel, this means that short videos with practical tips are not really worth doing, as YouTube won't promote them and they won't get viewed. So if you want all my tips, you will need to visit my website, which isn't that bad. The internet site is divided into a couple of sections, the first of which is planning your trip. When thinking about heading to a particular destination, the first thing you think about is the sites, the places you want to visit, which makes sense. But do yourself a favor and check this section out, because there are loads of things that you probably haven't really considered, like transportation and general tips, depending on which season you are coming in. For example, if you like hiking, then you will have a lot more options if you visit Masada in winter rather than summer. Another section is dedicated to hotels and hostels. It is now very easy to book your own accommodation, but my focus is specifically on the best places for tourists, not for businessmen and not for Israelis. Now, many travelers say that they want to experience Israel like the locals, and I can understand where this thought comes from. But when it comes to hotels, then Israelis very often use them to simply rest, to relax, maybe spend some quality time with their families. But as a tourist, your hotel is more of a base for exploring. There are some great hotels on the outskirts of Jerusalem that get high scores on booking.com and other platforms, but I wouldn't recommend them because I think that as a tourist, you are better off in the city center, where all the main sites are within walking distance. My main post about accommodation has a short list of my best recommendations for each area and budget. High budget in Jerusalem, Mamila Hotel, average budget in the Galilee, Galilion, low budget in Tel Aviv, Abram Hostel, Spot Hostel, and so on. So if you find yourself getting a bit overwhelmed with all the options, this would be a great place to start. I also recommend places in the desert. I think Israel is the perfect destination for a winter vacation. I lived in Germany for 10 years, and I can tell you that November, February, and March are not much fun over there. But in Israel, winter and springtime are the best time to visit, and 95% of tourists don't visit the Negev. Another section is dedicated to Israeli society, the tensions inside Israeli society, Israeli music, history, and politics. As a tour guide, you talk so much about history and archaeology, but once the guides have finished talking, the travelers ask about the people. The best example of this is at the Western Wall. As a guide, you talk about Herod and the Romans, the first temple, the second temple, the rebels, and then the group asks, why is the men's section of the wall much bigger than the women's? And why do so many women wear wigs? And what are the cups with two handles that people wash their hands with? The last section is about my booklets and my Jerusalem app. I said at the beginning that there is a discrepancy between what I say to travelers and the information that is available on the internet. One of the obvious points to make that I don't find mentioned anywhere else is that most of the sites in Israel are not impressive in themselves. Yes, the Dome of the Rock is impressive, as are Masada and Caesarea, but the Western Wall, just a wall. The Church of the Holy Sepulchre is so complicated, lots of people confuse the stone at the entrance with the tomb itself. The City of David, ancient Jerusalem, Tel Megiddo, aka Armageddon, and Qumran, those are all extremely important sites, consist mostly of piles of stones. In Israel, you need proper guidance to be able to understand the sites. I don't promote myself as a guide because I prefer to focus on my internet site and videos. When I get inquiries about guides, I usually recommend my partners Asaf and Reem from Shin Tours and my friends Itai, who lives next to Jerusalem, and Avirama, who is a Galilee expert. You can find their details on my contact page. I do, however, promote my booklets, which cover everything I say on my Jerusalem, Tel Aviv, and Masada tours, and my Jerusalem app, Jerusalem with Oren. If you are planning a tour to Israel, you are sure to visit Jerusalem, and my app features all my tours, all my explanations in the forms of dozens of videos and recommendations, where to eat, places to sleep, and where you should be aware of scammers. Now, as it stands, this video is too short, and because I want YouTube to recommend it, I'm going to have to make it a bit longer, which is why I'm going to tell you two more things. The first is that the line I said at the beginning, my name is Oren, Oren is a tree, a very solid one, the best tree in the forest, is taken from a cult Israeli movie called Operation Grandmother. In the movie, the line refers to the name Alon. Many Hebrew names for men are actually the names of trees. Oren, my name, is a pine tree, and Alon is an oak. And at the end of all my videos, I always say Yalla bye, Yalla bye, Yalla bye, Yalla bye. The word Yalla is an Arabic word that is also used in Hebrew in many situations. The original meaning of Yalla is come on or hurry up, but it can be used in many ways. For example, cheering someone on, Yalla, go for it, or agreeing to do something. Do you want to go for a drink? Yalla. But if said twice, it can also be a way to show disbelief or disrespect. I promise I will get you free tickets for the next show. Yalla, yalla, as in yeah, right, or as if. And it can also be used as a casual way to end a conversation. Yalla, bye. That's it. So check out my internet site, travelingisrael.com, and get my app or booklets, or both. And yalla, see you in Israel. Yalla, bye.